Welcome to another Bot Bash. I am Anomalism, and this is Command and Conquer Red Alert 3, the Uprising expansion, and it's going to be a real treat to game today. This game is very, very violent, very, very active. The bots love to just throw units at each other and make things explode and happen. Today in the top left, we have the blue allies with a direct assault strategy. Down in the bottom right, we have the red Soviets with, I think their heavy armor was their strategy I chose for them. And in the center, we have the Empire of the Rising Sun, who I'll probably just call the Empire, which gives them a very ominous sort of name, and they should have a mecha warfare strategy. So expect a lot of vehicle play, hopefully. I'm not sure if that's going to be true for the Allies. Direct assault could mean any number of things, but we'll see how it all plays out. And if you're not familiar with the series of Command & Conquer, I'll just introduce it real quick. In Command & Conquer, it's just an RTS like any other. It was one of the earliest RTSs, really founding father, set a very good precedent for asymmetrical gameplay, factions with different strengths and weaknesses. And one of the unique things about it is this sidebar that has lasted the entire length of the series. And that sidebar allows you to, at any point in the game, see what you are currently building, be it infantry or buildings, and just be able to click and click and click immediately to produce more of that back at home. And it means that even the newest player to the RTS genre can learn and effectively use the game without spending too much time, macroing, microing, learning all those skills that you would otherwise normally need. My cat's trying to get past me right now. Sorry for the sound quality changes. And one of the unique things I've chosen today is to put the Empire right in the middle of this base, and that's because the Empire, if they reach the late game, they have this very special unit in the Uprising expansion that is absolutely ridiculous, and the AI doesn't know how to fight it properly. But in this circumstance, it might be that the two sides can sort of squash in and kill the Empire early, or alternatively, maybe they just are able to fight those units when they show up. But I'll be sure to point them out when we get to those ridiculous units. For now, we're seeing a lot of skirmishing going on, lots of little infantry fire. You can see some units garrisoned in this building, doing a lot of work, picking off infantry around. The Soviets stole an oil rig, and now the Empire has destroyed it. Likewise, over here, the Allies are pushing in, just having a little bit of skirmish fire. They also took an oil rig, and that's going to be destroyed. Got a bunch of infantry running around down here, not achieving much right now, but I'm sure they'll start doing something very soon. Let's see how we're going for tech. We can see we've got vehicles and infantry. Direct assault might mean infantry focused. Or was that squadron commander? I'm not sure. Yeah, direct assault might mean infantry. We'll see what they get as time goes on. You have to tech up in this game quite a bit to get to units. You see so many units are being produced right now. Over here in the Empire Rising Sun, similar story. They're just at, the middle tier of tech vehicles. They're getting a couple of turrets up. Hopefully that'll help stem the tide of the enemy forces. See the battle archers, archer maidens, sorry, firing their volleys. I love these chopper VXs. Those are really cool. They could be a flying unit and shoot rockets down, or a land unit and shoot rockets at the air. Change between modes. And down here, the Soviets have quite an army as well. That's going to make good work of basically anything at this point in the game. They need some actual, proper serious armor to deal with this. Well, they're getting there. They've got a few units out that can contribute, but they're struggling. They need more of these anti-vehicle tank busters. But unfortunately, the Empire is just getting sandwiched from both sides, so as much as this is a valiant effort, they're struggling pretty bad. And again, it's nothing that is their fault. The map is just designed that way to favor the side players, so to speak. The central position could be good if they captured those two oil derricks and got a lead that way, but it's unfortunate that they didn't get a chance to. Soviets, similarly, they're just on vehicle tech, basically. They'll be the one that you can really see when they tech up, because they require an additional building. But it seems like right now, all the teams are just focusing on getting resources, which is not a bad call at all. These mortar troops, these mortar cycles, they are like a semi-artillery unit early on. Pretty good range, pretty good damage against buildings. They're doing okay, but they're dying kind of quick, to be honest. Those classic Command and Conquer sounds, death sounds. Love to hear them. Here we've got a big skirmish of some tanks. Tsunami tanks versus Guardian tanks. And it looks like blue allies will drive this away. They have a lot of rocket infantry. They should be focusing, but they're getting them all run down. This just swung in the favor of the Empire. They need to rally their troops over here to fight against that. Is that an Aurora Bomber? Vindicator. Aurora Bomber, I think, is in another one, another game. That might be in Command & Conquer Generals, I can't remember. There's so many Command & Conquer games out there. The Soviet army isn't doing too much right now. It could... I mean, the problem is a lot of these units are very squishy and weak, and they have so much air, anti-air units. These bullfrogs aren't very good unless you're fighting a lot of air. That's a little bit aggressive, I think. Oh, they've got a few air units to take down. Maybe not such a bad call after all. Empire is really putting up quite a fight right now. We've got this Defender VX turret that switches between a ground minigun turret that's good against infantry and an anti-air rocket turret. You see the jet tango has been shrunk there. It looks a bit ridiculous, but that is something that can happen, is units getting shrunk. There's all these little special powers, and I think the AI do use them, that let you do different things, like dropping satellites on your enemies or magnetizing troops into the air. More of those classic death sounds. I think, unfortunately, the Empire is going to get completely smashed pretty soon if this pressure keeps up, just because they're losing so much control of the outer map to the Soviets and the Allies, meaning that they can't produce units and produce everything as much as they need to. We'll see when it comes to that late game unit. See a Steel Ronin coming out, teching up to the nanotech mainframe. We'll see when those units start coming out, but until then, they're really just going to struggle a fair bit. The Allies actually need to get some anti-air. They've got some IFVs kicking around. There's a cryocopter that can freeze or shrink units, both to hilarious effect. Freezing is frustrating, shrinking is just funny. See a Tsunami tank fighting a Guardian tank. I think the Guardian tank wins that one. The Tsunami tank is like a soft ocean unit too, and it can put on this armor boost to try and escape, but it doesn't really do much damage. There you go, you see the Shrink Ray in action. Makes the unit move much faster, I think, but it takes away their firepower and it might take away their health. You see a bit of a struggle going on here to get some more resources up from the Empire of the Rising Sun, but looks like the Allies came in pretty quick to cut that one down, which is a little bit sad, but it seemed, again, it's just going to be a tough game for them to make any sort of headway. They're sending another ore refinery. Just sell these! I'm not sure what's going on there with the Empire. Allies, have they teched up any further? I can't remember what their next tech building is. I can't really see what their tech level is. They've obviously... Oh, nope, there we go. Mirage tanks. That's actually quite a fair bit along the tech tree. So they're reaching basically their penultimate techs right now. Some of their most powerful units. Meanwhile, the Soviets, let's have a quick look around. They have a specific building they need, I believe, to reach the next level of tech, and that is like a super power plant. But I don't see it anywhere. So they might still be stuck in like a middle tier of tech, which is why they haven't actually contributed much or even built a tank. They're kind of stuck with all this early tech units, which is really hindering them. I kind of would have thought they would have gone up in tech by now. They have the resources to do it, surely. They've got, what, 4 refineries? Harvesting? They're building a lot of defenses, but once you get that power plant, it gives you a huge boost of power, so you can build just whatever you want, basically. Yeah, a little strange, but that's how bot bashes go sometimes. You can never count on the AI to behave how you'd expect. We've got Tanya out on the field, and she's going to... So she's a hero unit. She, that little tick. Oh, boy. And she's going to die straight away. Good job, Tanya. I see this unit has a terror drone inside of it, slowly tearing it up. Terror drones from the Soviets. Tear to pieces mechanical units. What is that? A Decimator Core. There we go. That is a super weapon. And once that is deployed, there's about a few minutes for it to be dealt with before it absolutely smashes something. It's a super weapon. It will just do devastating damage. This is... This is interesting. The Soviets building these anti-air turrets. They need to build a anti-ground turret to fight this. That's funny. Good job, AI. This is why I watch bot bashes, by the way, to see them actually do stupid things. This Pacifier FAV is a long-range artillery unit. It's going to deal some absolute devastation. They can be very mobile, or you can deploy them to make them even stronger. See an engineer sailing around the coast. He might capture this dry dock, give the Soviets better units, better naval power. Nope, he's sailing away. Maybe he's going to capture this hospital, or was heading to that garage. Who knows? Do we finally see? Nope, just another flak cannon. Okay. Well, we see an attack force coming. Those cryocopters are going to die immediately. And then we might see a Riptide AFV actually kill all this. What's that? Another flak cannon. Why are they building so many flak cannons? What is going on? This Riptide ACV, sorry, is a semi-ocean unit. It has those torpedoes that can contribute quite nastily. Obviously, each team has their own primary sort of naval units. Haven't seen any. Maybe one day I'll do a bot bash where all the teams focus on naval units. See, Tanya again. There we go. She destroyed that building with C4. Now she's getting pushed around by a mortar. Wow. I'm seeing a lot of things I've never actually seen as a possibility before. These Steel Ronin are going crazy. You see the nanomachine armor around them. I can't remember if that's a building ability or if that's a faction sort of power that you can use. Tanya's going to get wiped out here pretty soon. That's unfortunate again. The Empire of the Rising Sun is actually looking quite terrifying while the Soviets are kind of stuck. We see a turret coming out, not from the Soviets, but from from the Empire of the Rising Sun. And that was a cryo trooper there who got taken out. So it looks like the Allies are going to take this, and these units got nice promotions. That's what that star and golden badges are. Those are promotions. So at a star, the unit is as strong as it possibly can be. Guardian tanks. Running away from this fight, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. These Steel Ronin are going absolutely nuts. Getting shrunk now by the cryocopter. Good call. Get him out of there. What is that? Mirage tank? Send the Mirage tank in there. They do good damage. Yeah, here we go. We've got a few Mirage tanks. This seems like a strong push if they can just violently get in there and not be too afraid of these turrets. Just shoot them down. Oh, we've got a Harbinger gunship. Harbinger? Harbinger or Harbinger? I'm not sure. Harbinger. Those things are devastating when they get given a chance to just fight. So that was an ally superpower there, or like not a superpower, a faction power, I guess I'm calling it, whatever they're called. I can't actually look at them right now. Top secret protocol, there you go. The top secret protocol that the Allies can use. The Soviets refuse to give up this territory, which is costing them quite a bit. They should stop that. But right now, you can see the Soviets are actually getting in here and doing damage because the Empire of the Rising Sun is so distracted with the Allies right now. Does the Empire of the Rising Sun even have an army? I think they might have lost it. There's some Steel Ronin. They're still running around this side, but that's not helping. Oh, I see. They've been shrunk by these cryocopters. Yeah, there's a heap of them, but they're not where they need to be, and that's defending the base. Losing this Psionic Decimator would be a big deal. They really can't afford that to happen. We've got the next tech building from the Allies, and they have their Photon Collider. That's their super weapon. That'll be exciting to see these things go off. Hopefully the game notifies me so I can quickly look around to see where it is. The Soviets still haven't built their tech building, and I suspect they're not going to, which is a little unfortunate because you can't win without tanks. Not in this fight. This game really relies on you building those tanks. It's a quirky idea to focus on mostly infantry, but it's just not going to work out. They're too vulnerable. Too many things long range and all stuff like that could hit them and easily take them out. So it looks like it'll be a fight between the Empire of the Rising Sun and the Allies, and it'll be down to who got hit hard enough. Like, has the Empire been weakened enough for the Allies to take them out? Or, you know, will they pull through and actually strive and survive in this game? I wonder what they've got in there. Must be some flak cannons. Every little bit of damage dealt to these, these Steel Ronins, it's not likely to be repaired anytime soon. Which I can hear. Oh, where is the beep beep beep? There it is. Boom! Damage. That was the secret protocol. Just a secret bomb that the Allies can place. You can, I believe, destroy that, but the Allies are just a little bit slow at their feet. See these Steel Ronin now coming out to try and kill off the Soviets. There are a lot of turrets, so it's going to be a bit of a fight, but there's not a lot of fighting force. Oh, there goes a super weapon! That looks like the Proton Collider from the Allies. Yeah, that was the Proton Collider. I wonder if the Psionic Decimator has gone off yet. If it has, it would have just been devastating to whoever it hit. Maybe that's why the Empire of the Rising Sun's sort of having a little bit of a better time right now. Harbinger gunship doing good work. Got that pacifier. It would be cool to see that set up. Oh, I got the future tank. Future tanks are pretty cool. They do these big AoE explosion attacks, and it looks like they can shoot while they move. Yep, there we go. Shoots while he moves. those attacks are cool, but I don't know if the units are worth the cost, so to speak. It would be nice to see mammoth tanks or something like that back again, but it's a different game. Get the money. Get the money before you die. Get the money! I don't know if he can get it. Is it in just a really awkward position for bathing? Get the money. Go on. Yeah, there we go. Soviet, $2,000 cash injection. And they're now setting up in the rightful place that they should over here, rather than trying to take this far corner where their enemies are. Got a couple of gunships online. I wonder if it's not long now until we see the first Empire of the Rising Sun. Oh, what are they called? Battle Fortress, I think they're called? Something like that. They're absolutely ridiculous. Right now, it does seem like it completely favors the Allies with their Harbinger gunships. They're causing so much trouble and so much damage. See these Guardian tanks, just this is a nice-sized army. And there you can see the deployed pacifier. They need to actually protect that. It's getting shredded by these Steel Ronin, and it's gone. That's unfortunate. Oh, that was a... No? I thought I saw a big explosion. It might have just been the future tank. Yeah, it looks like the Empire is now getting under some serious pressure from a lot of different angles from the Empire, from the Allies, with all these different units coming in. You can only do so much with Steel Ronin before you just get swarmed. Oh, look at this. This is also very painful. That was a Psionic Decimator taken out. That was their super weapon. I hope they got at least one good use out of it before it got taken out. They probably should have. It was around long enough. Proton Collider I don't think has gone off again. No, it's just sitting around. Yeah, this looks like this is the end of the Empire of the Rising Sun, and I honestly don't think the Soviets have what it takes to fight back against the Allies. You can see a bunch of things getting sold right now to try and recoup losses, but the Allies are just too strong, and it's too late for the Empire. The Empire has fallen to the Allies, the might of their technological superiority. Mecha, not good enough for sci-fi. I mean, you know, they're both sci-fi, but different kinds of sci-fi. You can see the MCV trying to sail away to greener pastures, drive away. He can go in the ocean, and that would be very interesting to see the AI sail away over here and try and rebuild or something, but we'll see how far they get. They're getting hounded by this Harbinger, so I suspect that's a death sentence, unless the Soviets happen to just barely save them, but... Ooh. Did they give in? Gave in? Alright. Drive, MCV! Get free! Oh! Wow, that was I'm not sure which super weapon... Oh no, it's an Athena cannon! That's this thing over here. It takes lines up a target, and then it beams the hell out of them and just lasers them from the sky. Oh, he's been defeated. He's switched offline. Can someone capture that? Send an infantry in and capture the MCV and then build 2 techs. I didn't know that they could be defeated that way. I guess they just surrendered. That's a cryo cannon. That's another secret technology. Whoa. Oh, got the little Reaper turrets. I like these guys. The Reaper turrets are... They can hop. So you've probably seen these sickle tanks hop. And the Reapers can do that too. And when they hop, they deploy as like a little turret. So it's sort of a pseudo turret. It's really interesting that they do that. Like a middling anti-vehicle unit. Kind of cool. Looks like they can hit air and ground, so I kind of like them a lot. I don't know how good they are. They're kind of squishy, but they're just cool. And I think that's more important, is having cool units than effective units. Got Vindicators? Vindicators coming in, trying to cause some damage, but they're not going to get anywhere. There's too much anti-air. And I'm kind of waiting for the Allies to actually, you know, make a proper fight. Oh, okay, so they've definitely gone up the tech. Where is... the super reactor? There we go. Super reactor, battle lab, got the ion curtain online. It won't be long before we have the oh, there it is, vacuum imploder, the Soviet super weapon. If that goes off, hopefully before the proton collider, we'll see what happens, but it's going to be cool either way. It seems like the Soviets are back in this game and we're back to even footing. We'll just have to play it out and see who is going to take this one at this point. We've got Kirov airships. They're very slow and vulnerable, but they do such devastating damage, and having 4 of them is terrifying. If a player had 4 of them, they would send them with an entourage of ground units, come in from a favorable angle, like come in from this side, and just swoop across and take out like 4 buildings before they could be stopped. It would be absolutely devastating. Seems like the skirmishing is going to keep going on, though. We see more Harbinger fire taking out... Oh, I hear it. There's the time bomb. Not going to hit anything. I personally like to get a lot of those bombs. See Tanya out again, and a Cryo Legionnaire. Cryo Legionnaires can be effective, but they're kind of weird. More use of those secret protocols without much effect. Oh, we've got some V3 rockets. V4 rockets, sorry. Got 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, 6. That is... The Soviets have such a big army right now, and they just put the Ion Curtain on a bunch of units that are completely out of range of anything. Got the Terror Drone. I can't remember what they're doing. Dismantling core? No, they're doing some sort of electric shock attack. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe I'll see a Terror Drone that's in the different mode, and it'll say something different. Maybe it EMPs vehicles or something. Oh, he switched modes back. Okay. Yeah, an immobilizing ray that stops vehicles. So I think it doesn't damage them. I think it might just stop them in their tracks. I don't think it disables them either. It just stops them from moving. These Kirovs need to be attacking that right now instead of tanking all these shots. Well, this is going to be a waste of a couple of Kirovs. For what, an Athena cannon? And some infantry? Not worth. Not worth at all. Kirovs are worth way more than that. By like 800 or something. Whereas the Athena's like, they're like 1200 and Kirov's like 2000. It's really a big difference. Gonna lose a Harbinger gunship if this MiG fighter takes it down. Oh, survived on 1 hit. Very lucky. And it's repairing, and I'm not sure why it's repairing. Maybe there's some sort of thing out there that I don't know of. It seems the battle line has been drawn between the north and south. The Soviets have had a respectable industry this entire game and have been producing a lot of units, including these Apocalypse tanks. They're big boys. That's the thing about the Soviets. I'd say, without a doubt, they are the team with all the biggest units until the expansion came out. But even then, their biggest units are still respectable compared to the other team's big units. This Dreadnought wants to really get around here with a couple of escorts, lay down some fire, and really end this game before the Allies can get any, ocean counter support. What happened there? Oh, there's a attack from the Soviets, a Soviet secret protocol. See this MiG fighter squadron flying about. This has turned really aggressive in really interesting ways. I didn't actually expect it to go this long, but they've captured a Mirage tank somehow. What do they have that can capture? That's interesting. So the Soviets have a Mirage tank. Mirage tanks can disguise themselves as objects, I believe, and then just shoot from that disguise. It mostly just tricks the AI, but it's not foolproof. It's the Apocalypse tank. Oh, ouch, friendly fire there, I think that was, from another VE rocket. Taking a moment to pause and see what's going on. Did the Proton Collider go off? Yes, the Proton Collider took some serious damage, or it's just... What is that? I think it might have just been where the Proton Collider was shooting. Hopefully the vacuum imploder can make some difference. Right now, I do favor the Soviets quite a lot. Partly because I like the Soviets more, but also because I think they control more of the map. They have more of these resources on hand. Whereas the Allies only have 3, where I think the Soviets are on like 5. Oh, the Allies are on 4. The Soviets are on 5 resources. I can't see how much resources are in the... Oh, they're depleted. These ore mines are depleted, so they're giving reduced resources. But the Soviets have these ones over here. That takes them to 6. And, even a depleted ore mine gives you at least a little bit, while an ore mine, a full ore mine like the Soviets currently have is just way more production. Having the 6 depleted ore mines is better than having 5, basically. And we'll eventually see the game get to that point where, the teams have polarizing amounts of resources. I'm surprised that Bullfrog is doing so well against... I guess he wasn't focusing him, but the Pacifier fortunately took him out. He's getting chewed apart by a Terror Drone right now. This Kirov is just flying free, repairing constantly. I'm wondering what that's about. If he could just veer to the right, if he goes this way, I think this is going to have some rocket infantry in it. That'll take it out. Yeah, that's going to be cleaned up, sadly. Oh well, Hero Kirov, you didn't make it. And the battle lines are really getting drawn across the middle, more and more aggressively. Again, I think it's the Soviets who are pushing up here, just because they do have that resource power to keep fighting. The Allies could get up here and take these 2, it would completely change the game, turn the game on its head. The Allies are taking another ore mine, that'll take them up to 7 to the Allies' 5. that's a disgusting lead at that point. It's very hard to imagine the Allies will keep up. Do the Allies have 5? They got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. So the Allies only have 4 to the Soviets now 7, which means the resource advantage here, the Allies basically have to trade effectively every single fight and lose nothing. I like this, having a cryo trooper in the building because they can freeze anything that draws too close. That's kind of unique and interesting. It takes time though. Whoa, and that was a big V4 rocket. Sorry, V3 rockets are from Red Alert 2, so I keep calling them that. I like Red Alert 2 as well. It seems like the Allies might have just run out of steam. They don't seem to be producing a lot of... They have a few units back here, and if they could push up with these pacifiers, maybe throw some Guardian tanks out in front just to weather the force of the Soviets, then they'd be doing fine. But the Soviets just have so many units. I mean, these are all anti-air, but just the fact that they have that much anti-air means that the Allies cannot engage with those Harbinger gunships they've been building, and they're getting absolutely destroyed as a result. Whereas the Soviets just keep building more and more of everything, you know, all their good stuff. This V4 Dreadnought, this Dreadnought has moved into range, and he's going to start unleashing hell. This could be the killing blow. Oh, and there's the Proton Collider is charged. Oh, it's shooting. There it goes. Bam, bam. Devastating force. I don't know how I missed that before. I'm very sorry. The Iron Cannon is currently disabled. Nope, it's still loading. And we won't see the Vacuum Imploder for a while. Maybe the Vacuum Imploder was what cleared out so many Allied troops. But as you can see, this Dreadnought is just doing devastating damage, firing on the move, allowing it to hit so much. Oh, that hurts. Oh, ouch. If it could take out that building, that would be completely fatal, because those Vindicators do so much work. Those anti-air units have been doing so much work. Unfortunately, the Dreadnoughts are getting a little bit confused right now, hitting all signs of different targets. You shouldn't be focusing on prospectors. You should be focusing on valuable buildings like the production buildings, the armor, and the airbase. This really is the thing that could end the game if only it would focus. But unfortunately, we've got all these Riptide APCs coming in, and as you saw, they have a torpedo attack, and a Harbinger gunship is actually dealing some damage as well. So as aggressive as this Dreadnought play was, it's not going to work out. It's going to get picked apart by the Allied forces. Meanwhile, the Soviets have moved up in the middle. They're now starting to build ore refineries there. Unfortunately, it's not going to last. Yeah, it just looks like the Soviets might just have the production capacity to handle this. That being said, they have slowed down, and they've been building a lot of Dreadnoughts instead of valuable ground units. You can see a push coming through here, but again, it's all Bullfrogs. The Bullfrogs only hit air and launch infantry. They don't fight ground units, which I suppose if you want to take the air fight, like with this twin blade flying around, you know, that's one way to do it. You can take an air dominance and with all your Bullfrogs, but it's not going to win you the fight, and I'm not seeing basically anything else from the Soviets that could meaningfully contribute to any of these fights. There's no units. They have no tanks. They have no artillery. They have nothing but Bullfrogs. Which means even this paltry force is going to kill them eventually. You see the Dreadnought around here is actually pushing out, slowly destroying everything over here. Took out one of the resource productions from the Allies, which takes them down again to 3. That's very sad. If it keeps going and comes over here and takes out another resource production, that'll be the game basically over at that point. I'm not sure what the Allies will be able to do to keep up. As much as I like to say that the Soviets are making massive errors, these are massive errors only a human player would pick up on and take advantage of. And that Dreadnought is sitting back and repairing for a bit. Another Dreadnought. I'm sure that's another Dreadnought being built. Another Dreadnought. Another Dreadnought. Do something with your units. You have so many. Or maybe this damage really set them back and they're trying to rebuild. I don't think they lost anything of significant worth, but there could have been something there. And we're about to see the Vacuum Imploder go off, and that might be the final death knell of the Allies. See a push coming out here, again, all Bullfrogs. Not going to achieve anything. Might just be a scouting party, to be honest. The AI might not act unless they have the information to do so. So let's see where this vacuum cannon is going to fire. I want to actually look at it. Yep, there it goes. Vroom. I suspect that's going to be right there. Boom. Oh, all the damage. Oh, okay, that was painful. That was a tech building and an air base. That is... And a barracks, I believe. That is a serious setback. Yeah, this is going to be the thing that kills the Allies, I say, for the 5th time this game. We've got a submarine right in the middle of the Allied territory. Oh, and that is some friendly fire. Be careful. Twin Blade not going to get very far. Some rockets around there to protect, but got this full star rank Dreadnought unleashing hell. That is going to be a very dead ore refinery. To the Allies, they've only got 1 ore refinery. Yeah, Allies are down to 1 ore refinery. The Soviets are closing in with Dreadnoughts on all sides. Mostly just this side, but all sides, I'm going to say. That's going to be another dead ore refinery very quickly. Oh, this is so cool, watching all these rockets go off and hit different things. There goes the war factory. No more armored units. No more anything, really. I don't think the Allies even have a barracks at this point to defend themselves. They don't have an ore refinery. This is going to be a quick cleanup and absolute devastation at the hands of the Soviets. The Allies looked really strong early on, but apparently the Soviets were wise enough to bide their time and wait for a day where the Allies had exhausted themselves against the Empire of the Rising Sun before striking. Which is ironically what the Empire of the Rising Sun does in the campaign to the Allies and the Soviets. I'm not sure what else is left for them to destroy before the Allies just surrender. Unfortunately, with the Dreadnoughts getting picked off by the Riptide APCs, we're not going to see anytime soon. Maybe if that goes down, the game is over. I could respect that if they thought, you know, a super weapon might be enough to keep the game going. Alas, it's gone. Got the Iron Curtain, could throw that down on this Dreadnought, keep it alive. Oh, I've got a submarine coming through. He should turn around and shoot these APCs. Oh well, lost. Well, this is all that remains for the Allies. A couple of turrets, a few power plants, and a command hub. And basically, a few units. We've got 2 of the pacifiers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Riptide APCs. Every single lost APC at this point is absolutely devastating. I think they just lost one of the pacifiers. Oh no, there he is. Oh, we're seeing Stingrays. Okay, this is a little bit silly. These are ocean sea units, but they can walk on land. They're Tesla boats. They can walk on land, and the AI decided to build some of them and walk them on land rather than go by the ocean. See a bunch of bullfrogs guarded by that Iron Curtain pointlessly. More Dreadnought fire, unleashing hell upon the Allies. See this Akula sub also hurting them so bad. Every single missile out is devastating. They've got a little bit of repairs going, but let's face it, there is no coming back from this. Unfortunately, oh, they've got cryo troopers and cryo legionnaires in these multi-gunner IFVs. Do they hit air? They do. Okay, so they can tear air units straight out of the sky like that. That's pretty funny. This is going to stall the game out a bit longer until a few more Dreadnoughts show up. What we really need to see is Apocalypse tanks just rolling up to the edge. Maybe we'll get one more vacuum implosion. That would be cool. End the game with that. Just suck everything up. Oh, dropping satellites. That'll take out the turrets. Completely exposed now. Only one IFV multi-gunner turret that could potentially take out an air unit, but if it gets shot at all, it's basically dead. They're choosing to focus the power plant. Well, that's going to be a wasted couple of twin blades. I'm not sure why they did that. AI has some priority issues. Here comes another twin blade, going to go straight for that power plant, actually take it out, and then turn around and die. Dreadnought, save me. Save me from this misery. Unleash your volley. You're shooting at the wrong things. Please shoot at the turrets. Oh, okay, you are shooting at the power plants. That's okay. I think that will take it offline if they have no more power. So if they just take out the other power plant. This turret is honestly saving the Allies right now. The Soviet incompetence is also saving the Allies right now. But what else is new? As far as I know, Soviet incompetence has been a big hindering factor for the Soviets throughout history. But I don't know a lot. it was at least a real factor as far as the Red Alert games were regarded. The Soviet incompetence definitely kept them from winning the wars. I think canonically the Allies won every time. Which sounds a bit silly, to be like, let's have a war between two sides, but we'll always declare the good guys as the winner. And let's face it, the Allies are meant to be the good guys, that's just the way it is. But the Soviets are more fun. Well, that is a defeat of both the Empire of the Rising Sun and the Allies at the hands of the Soviets. We'll go to the stat screen, see how this worked out, see the downfall. See, right here was where the Soviets suddenly shot up. And you can see a super weapon usage, a couple of super weapon usages there, and the Soviets just overtook. That must be when they finally got there. Well, let's see if we can light anything else up. 1353. So what else? Yeah, so I think that's weird. Why did the Soviets dip there and then... Oh, that must have been when they were trying to defend that one area and it just got bombarded. That's structures. So yeah, and maybe once they gave up on that, they started clawing their way back up. Resources, yeah, about what you'd expect, and that's where the resources started running out. The Soviets really took a lead. And here's just some little facts. The Soviets created 108 buildings. I think most of them were those turrets that kept getting destroyed. They created 444 units. To be fair, we have to chop off like 100 of those just for the end game. Enemy units killed 200. The Soviets did not contribute to the kills at all. Look at that. That is a ratio if I ever saw one that represents the Soviets. That is completely true to this game. You've got the elite faction of the Rising Sun. You've got the specialists with the allies, and then you've got the cannon fodder of the Soviets. They lost 452 units and only killed 200. And they won, damn it. That's what the Soviets are all about. And they've used lots of support powers. The Empire of the Rising Sun didn't get to use so many, but from what I understand, they use a few, like, passive ones more than anything. So that was... love that efficiency ratio. That was the game. Thank you for joining me for another Bot Bash, and I hope you join me again for the next one, when maybe we'll do something different, or we'll do something again. Thanks, and see you for now.